Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome on board. Let's do a short flight using Instrument Flight Rules, that is IFR. Skyvector.com as usual. Let's just zoom into South India and do a quick flight from Cochin to Calicut using VORs. And not in this airplane where we have managed mode and autopilot. Neither in this where we have auto throttles, autopilot, LNAV and VNAV. But instead, let's just fly in this. A beautiful Cessna 172. And I don't mean the 172 with the Garmin G1000 glass cockpit, but I mean in this one with all those analog gauges. Okay, let's just quickly walk through the plan. Now here's an SID chart, the standard instrument departure chart of Cochin. Here's Cochin with the VOR identifier as Charlie India Alpha, and that's our destination Calicut. VOR Charlie Lima Charlie. Now the departure out of Cochin is called Charlie Lima Charlie 1 Alpha departure, which is for runway 27. And if you read the routing down there, you can compare it with the diagram that has been presented in the center. It says climb on a runway heading at 4 DME, Charlie India Alpha turn right, 010 degree heading, then intercept Charlie India Alpha radial 330 to 35 DME, then turn right, intercept Charlie Lima Charlie radial 170 inbound to Charlie Lima Charlie, that is Calicut. And over there we've got a complete ILS procedure. It's a different chart. So let's just get ahead and start it off. And also mind it, I'm going to be using keyboard for the entire flight. So here we need a little setting up to do. Now we've got two VOR receivers here, VOR1 and VOR2. Now the VOR1 has not just the horizontal deviation indicator, but it also has a vertical deviation indicator, which means it can be used for ILS. VOR2 only has the horizontal deviation indicator. Now how do we tune into the VORs? So here if you push this button, it says push C/V, which means COM, if you want to tune COM, or V, which is the VOR frequency. So switching it gets you back to VLOC, that is VOR localizer. Let's just turn the knobs to 113.5 as per the chart, which is the frequency for Charlie India Alpha VOR. And the moment we tune it, we can use this key to activate the frequency and then see the changes. Okay, let's transfer the frequency. And there we go. Here it says Charlie India Alpha. You can see the radial and distance as well. And you can see the deviation indicators have shifted a bit. The standby frequency for Charlie Lima Charlie, let's put 116.5 on standby. So whenever we are ready to switch over, just press the transfer button and you can switch over. Anyways, let's do the same for VOR number 2. Now the VOR has tuned and identified Charlie India Alpha, but the radial outbound says 330. So let's just turn this knob and set 330 on the top. And the idea is to fly in such a way that the course deviation indicator or the horizontal deviation indicator shows center. So that means we are on radial 330. And that's the horizontal situation indicator, and we've got a red knob over here that sets the heading bug. So let's just set heading 270, that's the runway heading. That's it, and I guess we're ready to go. So let's just set the flaps, lights, let's do the flight control test and then head straight to the runway. So here we go. And rotate. We have positive rate of climb. Let's just maintain heading 270. Alright, 300 feet, let's retrack our flaps, landing lights off, and continue runway heading. Now if you take a look at the DME, it's not yet 4. So at 4 DME, we're going to turn right on a heading 010 and and then wait for the CDI and the course deviation indicator to center up, and the moment it centers, we'll just follow the heading 330. And I'm going to climb up to 5,000 feet for this one. Alright, that's 4 DME. Let's start our turn to a heading 010. And now we wait for the CDI to move. And there she starts moving in. Let's continue this heading. One more point to note is that the closer you are to the VOR station, the CDI is more sensitive. And as of now, we are moving further away, so it won't be that very sensitive. So you don't have to take this a very harsh turn to try and get the CDI on the center. Slow and steady to heading 330. And there we are, almost. And I'm approaching 5,000 feet. So that's just about it. Now we have to maintain this level, this heading, try to keep the CDI center until 35 miles. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to zoom into the instrument panel, and let's keep it this way all the way to the end. Just about the minimums of ILS runway 28 at Calicut is when we are going to look outside. Till then, we're going to follow everything through the instrument. Okay, in the meantime, let's just talk about the ILS chart for our approach in Calicut. So here's the Charlie Lima Charlie VOR, and we'll be intercepting it from the south. So the idea is, if you look at the plan view and the profile view, oh, by the way, this is called the plan view and this is called the profile view of the ILS chart. And here's the localizer frequency given 109.5 for India Charlie Alpha Charlie. Final approach course is going to be 283. We got a height check at 4 DME, which is 1690 feet. Decision altitude is 576 feet DA. That means at 576 feet, if you don't have the runway in sight, you just commence a missed approach and go around. There's no point continuing. Okay, and there's the MSA given. Okay, let's not get into all of those. So the idea is we approach from the south. Over at the VOR Charlie Lima Charlie, we'll try to keep our altitude 3600 feet as per the procedure, and then we turn right on the radial 091. We proceed outbound, descending to 3100 feet. At 12 miles, we're going to do a level turn, which means we're not going to descend below 3100 feet. So we take a right turn and then intercept our final approach course fix at 8.2 DME, and then continue on with the ILS. The descent is going to be along with the glide path. Now once we do that, we continue descending, and reaching 576 feet, we'll look for the runway. We don't see the runway, we go around. But it's not going to be the case in this one because it's a daytime and I've given clear weather just as a demonstration. So let's see how it goes. Alright, we are approaching 35 miles, so let's do one thing. Let's just prepare for the next VOR, that is the inbound radial 170 of Charlie Lima Charlie. Here's a thumb rule. When you say outbound radial, whatever the radial is, you set on the top of the VOR, and when you say inbound radial, you set on the bottom of the VOR. Okay, so now it says inbound radial 170. Let's put 170 on the bottom part. And 35 miles, Charlie Lima Charlie 116.5 is tuned and identified. And now the CDI says turn a little to the right. Okay, and also since I am supposed to be at 3600 feet over the VOR, I will commence my descent shortly before reaching, so that I maintain 3600 feet, and then over at VOR I can commence the entire approach. Alright, nearing by now. I'll commence my descent. Let's just descend and maintain 3600 feet by the time we are over at the VOR. And in the meantime, on the VOR2, I'll just keep it on standby. Radial 091. Correction, outbound radial 091. And 3600 feet it is. And like I said, the closer you get to the VOR, the more sensitive the CDI gets. So there's no point fighting the CDI closer to the VOR. Just try and maintain a particular heading. So just quickly walking through the plan, over at the VOR, turn right on heading 091, intercept radial 091, descending to 3100 feet till 12 miles. So that's the first part of it. Alright, I'm setting radial 091 here on VOR1 as well. And let's commence our turn. And on heading 091, we'll try and get the CDI center. Alright, descending to 3100 feet. CDI is coming to the center. Let's just track 091 back again and wait for 12 miles while we maintain 3100 feet. We're approaching 12 miles, so let's just set the next step, which is we'll put the course, final approach course of 283 on the VOR, and the moment we tune into the ILS approach, we'll get both the CDIs working. So 283 is set. That's 12 miles, and let's start a very shallow turn towards 283. Just give about 10 to 15 degrees of bank, that is enough. Okay, let me just tune the ILS frequency now, 109.5. And there you see, along with the horizontal scale, we even have the vertical scale active. As of now, the instrument says turn left and go up. But of course, we don't have to climb. We can only maintain 3100 feet till the CDI comes down and then follow it all the way down. So even though the final approach course is 283, I'm maintaining 240 as of now just to get the CDI back to the center. There she comes back. Let's turn towards the final approach course. And here she comes. Let's start our descent. Okay, we have started our descent, and since I'm using keyboard, I'm not going to extend any flaps here for landing, at least not for now. At the moment I have the runway inside, I'll decide if I want flaps, or else we can do a flapless landing as well. So let's just continue with the approach. Okay, 1000 feet we are stabilized. Let's continue the approach. Okay, remember 576 is the decision altitude. Alright, let me just pause on the simulator right now and let's just check. Bingo, there it is, bullseye. Okay, although if you see the glide path says go down, but we're okay. It's a long runway and it's a Cessna 172, and since we are a little high, we can see the puppy lights are all white. Ideally, in a jetliner at this point, with this kind of condition, you don't continue the approach, but this is just for a demonstration's sake, and that too with keyboard, so I think it's not bad. And touchdown. So that's how it's done. VOR to VOR and ILS raw data, hand flying. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Ciao.